Hey guys, it's Kelsey. I'm back with another scrapbooking process video, and this is the second to last layout, and this is my last 12 by 12. So since this was the orange plaid, I decided just to go for it and use all the orange I had left in this kit. And then I was going through all the die cuts to see kind of what I could use for this page. And from all my remaining die cuts, I kind of divided it into two piles. I have the floral pile, which I'm planning on using on the final layout, which will be multicolored. And then what was remaining was the green and blue. And I think the green and blue will go well because of my photo. There's plants in the photo, and it's a photo of Billy. So it's not a color combination I think I've ever used before. But we're going for it because I need to use these products, and this is the ephemera I had left for this page. So I'm getting my last 12 by 12 from Felicity Jane used up, my final two 6 by 8s of Freckled Fawn, which all are in the orange color scheme. I kind of just layered them how they fell, which is this little this layering that I've been doing a lot this month since I'm using this 8 by 6 proportion. And now I'm just trying to figure out what to do with the green and blue embellishments. I was having a hard time at first trying to figure out how they would go. I also had this blue fringe from another Felicity Jane collection I thought I should pull in if I'm going to try to make the blue work. So it just takes me a minute to kind of figure it out. But what I decided was the little green apple would layer on the little blue tab, and then the little blue bow would go on the green tag. And so that's kind of what I decided to do with my layering of the die cuts. And now I'm just trying to figure out how to finish it out. I had two branding strips left, so I'm using the orange one on this layout. And there's one circular orange chipboard piece from the Freckled Fawn collection. So I'm going to try to use that in that one cluster too, and just layer the bow on top of the geotag because this was in our backyard. I really don't need to label where we were. It's just documenting Billy's 11th birthday. So I'll layer that bow where you can't see the geotag, but you get that pop of the orange and the dimension of the chipboard, which I really like. So I'm kind of liking how this is laying out. I decided to go ahead and start gluing everything together, which was a mistake because with all of these orange papers, they're all kind of blending together. And I thought if I inked all the edges, that would define them all a lot better so you could see them. And I didn't realize I wanted to do that until I glued the majority of all these layers down. So you'll see me struggle. I decide I have my Distress ink in the green peeled paint, which I thought matched the green really well. And then I had the Recollections dark blue, which I thought matched the navy really well. So I just swatched both of those colors to try to see what I wanted to use. And I end up going with the dark blue, but like I said, I'm gonna glue pretty much everything down before I realize I want to ink everything. So I think I'll realize here in just a minute, like, oh, all of this is running together. I need to do something. So yeah, here's me swatching the blue and the green, and I think either of them could work, but I think I had more green in my ephemera than I did blue, so I wanted the blue to be the extra pop to kind of tie it in a little bit more. So that's why I decide, but I think either color would have gone. So now I'm going to move the things that are not glued down. I'm going to go ahead and ink the background. I tried using the ink pad itself, which I haven't done in a really long time, but I just wanted to kind of see what it would look like if I did that. And what happened was I got a nice concentration of color right at the edge, but it didn't really bleed into the page the way I wanted if I had used a dauber. So at the very end, I'll go back and use the dauber to add a little bit more blue around the edge. But I just start with this for now. So the background is inked. I'm going to ink this little branding strip, and then I will go through the process of trying to ink everything that I've glued together already. So that's the plan. I do kind of have most of the ephemera I want to use on here. There are two scraps of journaling cards in the green and the orange, and so I really wanted to try to get those layered on here somehow just for more pops of green and orange, and because I don't think I was really going to use much green and orange on the next layout. So I'll try to get those on here too, but I needed to stop and just figure out this whole inking situation before I kept going. So yeah, this is what I do. I just kind of tried to lift up the edges to ink everything without getting the back layers, and it worked for the most parts. There's a few areas that look a little messy, but I'm not too bothered by it. So almost done here. Gonna ink the 6x8s and then glue it onto the background. And because we are trying to finish and use everything up, I'm not going to gut anything. If this page was done earlier in the month, I definitely would have salvaged a chunk of this orange plaid background, but it's use it up time, so I'm not worried about it. And now that the inking's done, I can layer all this back together. And I don't know if to you it looks like a big difference, but to me that really helps those papers stand apart from each other, and you can really see the edges now that they're colored a contrasting color. So I like that. And now I'm going to glue it all together. I'm going to glue this last branding strip down. I love using Felicity Jane branding strips like this, just to strip across the page. I've done that a lot this month. I just like how it looks. I feel like it just anchors the whole layout and gives me a chance to show off the branding strip, which I love trying to use up. And then now I'm using the London Blue Dylusion ink for the splash on this layout for some more blue. And now I'll go back to the die cuts. So I like how that's looking, though. I am going to pop the apple up on some foam, so the apple has a little bit of dimension on that little blue tab. I don't think I pop anything else up on foam. The chipboard in the other cluster kind of has some dimension, so I kind of leave it at that. But I like how that looks kind of layered over the branding strip in that corner. I don't know what the apple has to do with anything, but I don't know. I feel like apples are kind of like a school sentiment, like good teacher, good student type of thing, and Billy's just the best boy, so it works. It's fine. And now I'm getting this cluster at the top back down. This is where I'm going to glue this bow over the geotag portion of that little chipboard circle, and I like how that looks. It was distracting otherwise if I saw pieces of the geotag, so it just makes me feel better just covering it up. But I like the addition of the orange and the dimension. And here is a blue label from Freckled Fawn I added just because I wanted another layer behind the flare so that orange circle wasn't blending into the background, and just another pop of navy. So I'm going to get that stuck down, and this is kind of that final little cluster. And then I am going to put my title on that little tag up there. I decided just to call this page 11 because it's Billy's 11th birthday. So I do go find my navy foam alphabet and steal 2 number ones to have the title, and I'll do that at some point. But I think this is where I really wanted to try to figure out how to use these scraps of these journaling cards. I got these cards on other pages already, but because this chunk of the label of the journaling card was covered, I got it just in case I wanted to pop on of those colors on another page. So I didn't use it until now, and now I'm glad I had them, but I really only used them because I gutted them and didn't want them to go to waste. But I think they look cute. I'm glad I had another pop of green. Because at this point I'd added several pops of blue and felt like I did need more green, so I think that little journaling card helped. And then I will go through the Emily sticker sheet, word stickers, and pull out a green and a navy sticker to go up there. One says celebrate, one says good news, which I think are both appropriate sentiments. Adding another little pop of green and navy, and then I just wanted to straighten my branding strip a little bit. And then this is where I add the number ones up to that little tag for my title. And that's pretty much it. I don't think I do anything else after this other than I go back and ink again around the outside of the layout just to give me a little bit more of that blue around the edge. But here are the close-ups in a minute. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one, which will be our final layout for this month. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.